Okay, this video is going to show you how to create a quiz or a homework assignment that can be automatically graded. And this is done using Google Forms. So in your Drive, you want to go up here to New, and you want to scroll down to More, and over to Google Forms, and click on Google Forms. This is the default setting for Google Forms, purple. If you'd like to change it, you come over here to the color palette. You can select from any of these colors or click on this icon image icon. And this is the variety of selections you will have. There's quite a few. I actually like this popcorn one. Some of them are actually animated, which is cool. Once you select the template that you want in the background, you go ahead and title it. So let's title this demo. You'll notice once I title it, the quiz itself is titled. This is what shows up in your Drive. So if you'd rather have this show something else for the students, you can always put last night's reading, and then you could put the date. And then underneath this is the description. You don't have to put a description, but you could always add more information for the students if you wanted to. So you could put from chapters 2 and 3, or you don't have to put anything. Right here where it says Untitled Question, that's where you actually start typing your question. Once you have your question, then you want to click here where it has the word option, and you want to type one of the answers. Once you click return or enter, it'll pop down to the next option, and you can type in the next selection. And I believe you can enter up to 10 options. You can also do select all that apply. You'll notice that it kind of tries to predict the type of question you're going to ask by giving options for the answers. So multiple choice is what I'll probably use for this particular question, but it's important to know that these three are the only three types of questions that can be automatically scored or graded. If you wanted to perhaps have a question that had the students explain their thinking, like a constructed response, you would use this paragraph. It doesn't automatically grade that, but you can enter a point value, and after it automatically scores the questions you have that can be automatically graded, you can go in and manually assign a score to each of the questions that are paragraph style. Short answer is for just possibly like a name or a date or just like a few words. A paragraph would be used for explaining thinking or something much more lengthy. So once we have our question, we want to scroll down. It's important to know that if you wanted to move the answers around, you could use this little waffle icon right here and move it to the location you want. You don't have to delete and then type again. Add other actually means add other, where the students would type in another color for this guy. These little image icons that keep showing up, the mountain range, if you had a student who had limited English or an emergent reader or with disabilities, you could actually add a block for yellow. So this would be a yellow, a blue, a red, and that would help them match the color or the image with the actual word. So that's something else you can add. You always want to make your questions required. If you don't, students can skip the question and submit, and you want to make sure that they answer each of the questions. So let's go ahead and look at this menu right here. Here we have where you can add another question. The two T's are for your title and description. Here's your image icon for adding an image to the entire question, and it would appear before your first answer. Here is where you can add a video and then possibly a question after the video. And this pause symbol is actually add a new section. So for example, if you wanted to have multiple choice, check all the boxes, or drop down menu questions that were automatically graded, and then you wanted a new section for your paragraph answer, you would click right here and then add that question. So let's go ahead and add a second question. So as you can see, I've typed a question. It's assuming it's a multiple choice until I type check all that apply. And you will see that it changes. It's predicting the type of question I'm going to ask. And again, with checkboxes, you can also have multiple answers. You can with the multiple choice as well, just not the drop down. So let's add some answers. Okay, so we have our answers. We want to go ahead and make sure this one is required also. And let's add a third question. Now, because I put for this question, fill in the blank for this popular rhyme, the quiz automatically thinks it might be a short answer. So it's giving me a short answer response. But I actually want this to be a drop down. So we'll go up here and we'll click drop down. And then we can put in the only one correct answer and some possible incorrect answers. Okay, and now we have our 3 questions. So let's go ahead and make this a quiz. So we're going to go up here to the settings gear wheel and click on that. And let's go through the settings. First, we want to make sure that it collects the student's email address so we can be sure we know which answers belong to which students. And we want to make sure we click limit to 1 response so that they can't change their answer. They find out from a friend that they answered something incorrectly. Now, if this were a quiz, you may want to shuffle the order of the questions so that if you were concerned if a student was looking over another student's shoulder, that's an option. The progress bar is if you have different sections, so I would say more than 2 sections, you might consider a progress bar. It's probably unlikely that you're going to have more than 2 sections, but that is there in case you need to use that. Right here, the confirmation message. This is the message that students receive when they submit the quiz or the assignment. So this is a typical confirmation message that you could include if it was actually a quiz during class. So now we're going to go to quizzes and we're going to click on the button that says make this a quiz. This is what feedback the students will receive after they submit. We all know our students thrive on immediate feedback. Texting, they're waiting for the response. They put something on social media, they're waiting for the thumbs up or the ha-ha or a comment. So our students nowadays thrive on that immediate feedback. So I would suggest that that's a good idea unless maybe you do have a constructed response and you don't want them to get feedback until you're finished looking over all of those. They can get the feedback on the automatically graded questions, and then knowing that that is something you'll be going over later and they'll get that feedback later. So it's entirely up to you. This is what students can see. They can see the questions they missed, they can see the correct answers, and they can see the points that they've gotten because you'll be able to assign points to each of the questions. I'm going to uncheck correct answers because I really don't want that being disclosed. And then I'm going to click save, always save. Now you can see that this little star next to the questions means that it is required. That's one way to check that. We're going to go ahead and click on the question to activate the answer key option. So we'll click on answer key and we're going to select the correct answer. Then we're going to give it a point value. 1 correct answer will give it 1 point. I also want to point out that you can edit your questions. You don't have to go out of the answer key feature. You can actually edit, so add answers, take out answers if you have a typo. You can also add answer feedback. So if they got it wrong, you could say, go back and read chapter 2. Oops. If they got it correct, you could say, nicely done, and then click save. And these are your feedback answers. You could do this for each one. I'm not going to save time. You can also edit or delete them from here. So we'll click on this one, answer key. So this was select all that apply. And we've got 1, 2, 3 correct answers. So I'm going to make this worth 3 points. Now that means if they miss one, that they won't get any points. So you might want to think about that. And then we'll click the last one, and there was 1 correct answer for this one. Whoops, answer key, and star, and let's give it 1 point. And then, like I said, you can absolutely edit when you're in this mode, and if you noticed, I misspelled that. I actually did it on purpose so that I could correct it in front of you, so you could see how it works. All right, so we are good. We're ready to test drive. So to test drive your quiz, you want to go up to the top, and up here there's a little eyeball preview. So we're going to click preview, and I'm going to get this one wrong on purpose so you can see what it looks like when you get something wrong. And then this one is our drop down, and the answer is star. And now I'm going to submit. Let's see. I also wanted to show you, let's see, oh, when they submit is when they get the feedback. So now this is what it looks like. Thank you for your hard work. Please read a book until everyone's finished. View your score. And I see my total points right here. And I can see that I got the first one wrong. Doesn't tell me what the correct answer is, but here's my feedback. Go back and read chapter 2. I got this one correct and I got this one correct. So that's basically how to make a quiz. Let's go back and look at once you get some responses. So here you can see you have a response. So you click on here. This will give you a summary view of each of your questions. So you have a really quick snapshot of which questions were most difficult, what you might want to go back over, or maybe the question wasn't just a very good question. You can also look on the individual level, and this will show you every single student's submission and what they answered. And you would click right here for the rest of the students. Also, you can make a spreadsheet of this. So it's a much cleaner snapshot. So you would click right here on the green icon for spreadsheets, create a new spreadsheet. And here you would have the day and time. So if it was a homework assignment, you'd know when it was turned in, the person who did the quiz or the assignment, their score, and then you would have, you could easily wrap all of these by clicking on the question, coming right here and clicking this wrap. And then that way you could see all of the questions. And this kind of gives you a nice snapshot also of how well everybody did. So that's quizzes and automatically graded assignments. If you need any further support, my extension is 5924, or you can email me at rmacdonald@ewcsd.org. Thanks.